right, Tom. 20 games in 3 days. This place is going to be rocking and hopping. We've got a number of rookie teams in this year's Classic in the country. Teams have been waiting to get in here and play under these circumstances, under these spotlights. Who are some of the new teams this year, and what do they bring to the Classic?
Well, in all actuality, we only have 7 new teams this year. That it's their first time in the Classic, which is a little below our average. We usually have about 12, but we also have some teams that have not been here in a while, like Chippewa and Ursuline from Division III, Eastmore, Kenton Ridge, Division II, Newark and Tecumseh in Division I. But probably one of the things that is most striking about Classic in the country is that folks don't realize, but we've had 203 of the 798 schools participate in Classic in the country over 12 years, as includes this year. And when you look at it, it's pretty phenomenal that about 25% of the schools have participated in Classic in the country, all the while maintaining the high quality of the event, the reputation of the best high school event in America. And so with that said, if you look at the first-time schools in Division IV, you have Convoy Crestview from up in the Northwest region, and they are a legit contender up there. They have a very strong trio that will carry them this year. The Mustaka sisters, Paige and Lindsay. One's a senior, one's a freshman, and then a 5'11", 6-foot player by the name of Emily Bauer. And they are a legit contender to come out of that tough Northwest Division IV region. You also have Miami Valley, which is out of the Southwest region. They're probably a year away from challenging Fort Laramie down in that region. I have 2 sisters also, the Karras sisters. One is a sophomore, one is a junior. And they're both very good players, and they match up, this year against Ursuline. In Division III, we have Ironton. Doug Graham, Coach Doug Graham, always has his group ready to play. They're perennial regional finalists down in the Eastern Region, Division III, and they come in here with a sharpshooting guard that's a junior that's already committed to Virginia Tech, a young lady by the name of Lexi Barrier. In Division II, from right up the road, we have Richfield Revere coming in, and this could be Revere's year with Hathaway Brown in rebuilding mode. Revere's a legit contender to get out of the region and get to Columbus because they have 2 very important things, and I think West Holmes saw this last year. They have a very high-quality point guard, and they got a high-quality post player, point guard being Cameron Brown, post player being Caitlin Barry. Also have another Division II team, Tip City, coming in from the Southwest region over in Kettering Alter's backyard. They are the biggest challenge to Kettering Alter for Alter to get back to Columbus this year. Tip City can match them talent-wise, cannot match them depth-wise. Tip City comes in with 2 Division I commits already, with Haley Prince, a senior that's going to go to the University of Toledo, and Carly Clodfelter, whose dad coaches football at Beaver Creek. She's a junior that has already committed to Wright State, quality point guard, and Cassidy Wasson, and Kelsey Wirtz will round out their lineup there. Another Division II team will be Carrollton. Carrollton's quality team that's going to challenge West Holmes in the Eastern Region in Division II. They'll come in here led by Allie Poole. Division I, the new team on the block is Pickerington Central. Pickerington Central, Dublin Kaufman right now is probably the favorite out of the Central Region, merely because they returned all 5 that got to the Final Four last year, but they had an early exit there. But the Central Region is wide open in Division I, and they come in with Bexley Wallace, one of the top 3 freshmen in the country at 6'3", who has extraordinary skills, along with 2 quality guards, Taylor Johnson that's going to Belmont Abbey, and Katrina Williams that's also a Division I prospect. And so, those are our new teams that this will be their first time playing here.
Okay. All right. So 7 new teams, 21 that have been here before. Many of those have been here many times. Who's one coach that you can guarantee is going to bring his team here, regardless of talent, come here and compete and really go after it?
You're kidding with that question. You got to be kidding with that question.
And you can only pick one.
Let's look at it this way. All right. I was looking at the numbers just for some material, and of the 28 coaches that are going, head coaches that are going to be here, 26 of them have gotten to as far as the regionals. 2 have not because they're in their first or second year. Mm-hmm. All right, so you figure about every coach here has, they're going to have their team ready to get to the regionals. 16 of the 28 coaches have gotten to the Final Four. 9 of those 16 have won state championships. So to pick one coach that's going to have his team ready, it's almost an impossible task, but I tell you, if you really want me to answer the question,
go ahead.
I would probably have to say Brittany Cimbolin from up at Sylvania Northview. This is why. They have 3 outstanding, their front line is as good as anybody in the state. And Kendall McCoy that's going to Miami of Ohio, Kendall Jessing that's going to OU, Maddie Cole that's going to Bowling Green. So pretty daggum good front line, yeah. All 6 foot and above. They came in here, it was Brittany's first year coaching, which would have been 2 years ago. And that would have been 2013 when they were sophomores. They played Hathaway Brown. Hathaway Brown took them to school. They weren't ready to play. They didn't understand championship level competition. Mm-hmm. And I got to think that they want to redeem themselves a little bit. And so I think there's a little edge to Northview and to Coach Cimbolin over some of the other coaches coming here, because I think they're coming back here with something to prove. Yeah. And because HB did sort of take him out to the woodshed.
Well, obviously that's a difficult question for you to answer because there's a lot of great coaches here at this Classic. So this next question is not going to be any easier. Of all the teams that are coming here to the Classic, which ones do you feel are kind of the favorite in their respective divisions to reach the state tournament?
Well, every year we figure out how many teams were at the Classic that win state championships, mm-hmm. How many teams were at the Classic that were in the 16 Final Four teams. 79 of the 176 championships we've started the Classic have played at the Classic in their championship year. So that's about 70. Or excuse me, I take it back. 32 of the 44 state champions have played here in that year, and so that's a little under 75%. I think it's 72.7%. 79 of the 176 final 16 teams that are in Columbus play here at the Classic in that year that they make it to the Final Four in their division. That's about 42%. I think this year we will have more teams. We will have 8 to 12 teams in the final 16 than we've had, which is above our average, which is pretty daggum good considering we make the schedule about 14 months in advance. If you look at that, Division IV, I think we have 3 Division IV teams here. I think 2 have a legit shot to get to Columbus. I think Highland and Crestview. In Division III, we have 3 Division III teams here. I think 2 of those have a legit shot to get to Columbus in March, and that would be Chippewa and Ironton. In Division II, we have 9 teams, 9 Division II teams here. I think there are 5 teams that have a chance to get there, and that's Kettering Alter, Toledo Rogers, West Holmes, and then out of the Northeast, Hathaway Brown or Revere. In Division I, we have 13 teams, and of those 13, 11 have a chance to get to Columbus.
Maybe it'd be easier to just ask who doesn't have a shot.
Well, you look at it this way: Division I in the Southwest, you got Lakota West, Mason, Cincinnati, Mount Notre Dame. In the Northeast, you got Solon, you got Hoover. In the Northwest, you got Toledo, Notre Dame, Wadsworth, and it could be Northview's year. And then in Central Ohio, which is probably the tightest, will be the tightest pack, you have Reynoldsburg, you have Newark, you have Pick Central, who is probably the second most favorite behind Dublin Kaufman, that's going to be there. And so, you know, you take that whole crew there, that's 11 that have a chance to be there. So I really think that we will be above our average of 42% of the final 16 teams. I think we'll still be on target with 3 of the 4 state champions will be here.
All right. Well, 20 games, obviously loads of talented teams coming to this thing. Give us 2 matchups that are must-see matchups during this whole tournament.
Now, this is a dangerous proposition. You asked me this last year, and on paper, last year, the rematch of the state semis between Fairmont and Toledo Notre Dame should have been the best matchup here at the Classic, because in the state semifinal the year before, you had Fairmont winning by 6. You had Fairmont, and for the Classic, they were returning 4 of their 5 starters, 5 of their top 6. Toledo Notre Dame was returning all starters, all right, plus a freshman that was coming in that would might even knock one of those starters out. Mm-hmm. So on paper, it should have been a matchup. Well, guess what? It really hurt our point differential because Fairmont waxed them by 37. Mm-hmm. So to ask me on paper, I have to give you that disclaimer that anything can happen here at the Classic, both good and bad.
Right.
With that said, I really like the rematch of Kettering Alter and Toledo Rogers from the state semifinals last year that they will be playing here on Saturday. If you look at it, Alter returns 4 starters, 5 of their top 6. If you look at Toledo Rogers, they return 4 of their top 7, plus they add an all-state move-in from Youngstown. And so, that matchup on paper, I really like. The other matchup, I think, could be a preview of a state championship game. And that's in Division I with Lakota West and Mason. Lakota West and Solon. Okay. And that will be on, I think that's on Monday at this year's Classic. Going into it, Lakota West, I think, has to be the favorite in Division I in the state. And Solon's right there at their heels. It's really pretty interesting because both of those, when they start that game, there will be a minimum of 8 Division I players on the floor. And so it's at the start of that game. Yeah. And it's going to be an interesting week because if everything plays out with the top 3 teams of Lakota West, Solon, Mason, Solon comes in here, plays Mason on Sunday, Lakota West on Monday. So they'll find out where they stack against those 2 teams. Thursday after the Classic, Lakota West travels to Mason to play. So it'll be an interesting week in terms of at the top end of Division I.